Hey guys, a fresh update here on the channel. We are only days away. Well, really, we are 1 day away from the end of trade period. It's today and it's tomorrow. And in this video, we have heard from Brad Lloyd, the former head of football at the Carlton Football Club. He spoke with Gary Lyon and Tim Watson this morning on SEN, and he revealed a few pieces of information which I think are really important. And so in this video, I'm going to go through, honestly, just the things that are relevant to what Carlton people want to know. So firstly, he was asked around Carlton and, is the place better for having a guy like Brian Cook around?
Is the Carlton Football Club a much better place for him having been there for that period of time now?
Yeah, definitely. I think the previous CEO, Kane Little, I think deserves a lot of credit as well. Absolutely outstanding. He really played a big part in building the facility. Enormous turning membership around. Kane did, so I think he was outstanding. And then Brian came in at a time where we probably needed to settle things down a bit, and then brought some real calm and value what he brings to it all. So I think that. Yeah, I think that'd be an unbelievable combination, Kane and Brian.
I put that bit in there because I thought it was really interesting how he referenced Kane Little. That's a name that hasn't been brought up too much in the last few years. Then he got to the juicy stuff, and this is about Charlie Curnow. So he starts by talking about his thoughts on the tour of the Sydney Swans facility and whether or not that was a shock to him.
Tell me, are you surprised, having been at Carlton for a long time, that Charlie Curnow is touring the Sydney Swans facilities, being welcomed by the coach Dean Cox at the front door with his fiancée? Are you surprised at this turn of events?
I am a bit. Yeah, great guy, Charlie. Love him. He played sort of the way he plays. He just plays with real passion, but he lives that way as well. I think. He's someone certainly wouldn't want to lose. I was looking through some of his stats this morning. 2023, 81 goals for the season. I think when the ball's moving really quickly into the forward line, he's really hard to stop. I think it seems like I was up on the Gold Coast with him, went for a couple of walks on the beach back in the hub days, and I think he enjoyed that lifestyle, probably getting away from the hustle and bustle of Melbourne as well. So that part doesn't surprise me, a move to Geelong or Sydney, but he'd be a huge loss for the club, but so that's why it's going to be a tough trade.
Then he spoke about what happens in the scenario where a deal doesn't get done, and a reality where a player has requested, or in this case has expressed an openness to be traded, and it doesn't go down.
Tim's told us this morning that Zach Merritt will stay at Essendon, but it doesn't look like that's the case at Carlton. Is there any chance at all that if a deal isn't nutted out, that he remains at Carlton?
Well, I think that's the leverage Carlton have got. You always, as a list manager, look at what's the alternative to not getting the deal done, and the alternative is he stays, and gets on with it, and that's something that Charlie would have to sort of work through. But so that's something Carlton have got going for them. But
then there were some interesting comments here around the deals. So a look at the Sydney deal, or the offering, or the reported offering, and then a look at the Geelong offering.
Yeah, in the end, I think the fact that a big deal came in from Geelong, I think Geelong's probably, the floor in that deal was, I think Michael Voss would want some players as part of it rather than Charlie walking away and no players coming in. So the fact there was no players part of the Geelong deal may have hurt that one, from what I can see. And then Sydney, the fact that he's up there and touring is a pretty big sign. And I think there's a couple of players in there from Sydney that might have Carlton's interest. So it feels like it's heading in that direction, but in the end, Carlton got that leverage that he's contracted, and worst case scenario, if things fall over, he's playing for Carlton, which a lot of people would be excited about. So it's a bit to play out, but it sort of feels like it's heading in the Sydney direction.
That part there is interesting, from his point of view, and I don't know what you take from that as the Carlton message, but it's pretty clear that there was a priority for players to be involved in a deal. No real surprise there. Then he touches on the narrative that a lot of people have been talking about, and that is, what was the relationship like between Curnow and Michael Voss, and was there a breakdown between the two?
Talking to Brad Lloyd, the former Carlton GM of footy, there is a narrative out there, now you can clear this up, that part of the disagreement that Charlie has with Carlton is some a very direct conversation that he had with the coach Michael Voss at the end of the season a couple of seasons ago. Is that the case? I mean, was there a falling out of a relationship between the coach and Charlie over that?
No, look, I think Vossi has great relationships with the players, and he's sort of never been in a conversation where I sort of haven't felt comfortable about the way Vossi's going about it. So no different to any, I guess the different conversations that go on across the board. So no, I would think this is more of a lifestyle decision without speaking to Charlie. More so, I don't sit there thinking there was a big rift between Michael Voss and Charlie Curnow. But Vossi's just such a good, a bit like Cookie, just the values, the character of him, very, very highly respected by the playing group. So I don't think there's any issue from that point of view from what I witnessed.
Now, is he ever really going to come out and say, yeah, they didn't get along? If that was the case, don't know. He would have been within his rights to say that if he wanted to. So I don't know how you absorb that, but it seems like literally this is just, a lifestyle decision for Charlie Curnow, according to Brad Lloyd. And then finally, this is also interesting and great question. It was around how long have Carlton been interested in Ben Ainsworth?
How long, we know that Ainsworth has now been recruited by Carlton. How long has he been on the radar of Carlton?
Look, some of these deals that go through for and it's why the importance of a list manager. Sometimes they're 2 years in the making. So, look, the Ainsworth one, I know Carlton's rated him highly for a long period of time. He was an early draft pick, and his name flashes up over the last couple of years on the board as a good quality small forward. So, in terms of that becoming a reality, sometimes that doesn't really eventuate until the recent weeks when things have emerged for him to become available. So it wasn't really live, but I know he was rated really highly by the club.
So there you go. That seems like it's been on the radar for a number of years now. As you mentioned there, he's been on the board, been on the whiteboard as a player of interest, and just couldn't get a deal done. I do wonder how many times we pursued Ben Ainsworth. I do wonder what an offering might have been in the past, but the reality is Ben Ainsworth is at Carlton now. So that's the latest there from Brad Lloyd. Let me know what you think about what you've just heard there, and again, if it puts any pieces to the puzzle in your mind, we'll chat about it in the comments below.